Hey, it's Pat Travers. Guess what? You're listening to Jim on Bass.
Hey, it's Ryan from the Jim on Bass Show, the podcast that brings you closer to your favorite athletes and entertainers. And I want to give a huge shout out to my friends at Claim to Fame. They have some of the best jackets out there that I love to wear. You can rock them for date night, a casual outing with friends, or even while doing a podcast. They're lightweight, they're durable, and perfect for any setting. My favorites are the dark blue, the olive shade, and if you want to switch things up and go for a lighter color, one of my favorite go-tos is the Pacific Blue. So check them out at claimtofame.com for all their different styles. So make sure you click the link so the next time you step out, you'll be feeling good with Claim to Fame. Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Bass Show. We're here in Redwood City at the Club Fox with the great Pat Travers, one of my favorite rockers and a great guitarist as well. Pat, thanks for coming on.
It's my pleasure, Ryan. It's great to see you. I'm glad we were able to pull this off.
Yeah, we're pulling it off.
Yeah.
And I know you live in Florida, so
Yeah.
you got out of town just in time to do some California dates, right?
Well, the storm hit us, but it was kind of a non-event. Fortunately, it ended up going way south of us, so I think our power went off for 2 hours, and so it was no big deal.
Okay.
But but it's nice to get out and experience this weather. But our weather's been nice too. So
Nice.
yeah, other than the hurricane.
Well, besides, being on stage, playing music, I like to get to know my guests a little bit personally too. So I am curious, do you have kids, grandkids, or?
No grandkids yet. We have two. My wife and I have been together for 36 years. We've been married 33.
Wow.
We have a daughter, Amanda, who's in her early 30s, and our son, Elijah, is 28. And they're both musical and sing and play and compose. And,
Nice.
so they got the genes. And, they're great. I'm working with my son now. He's becoming a studio engineer. So, because these days, if I just have to do a guitar overdub or something like that, I don't need to go to the big studio. I can just walk in to my son's room and record it there.
Nice.
So, I'm hoping to be able to, because we're working on a new record right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the cool dad then.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I hope so. I'm sure there's been times when he didn't think I was so cool.
Well, you're on tour playing some shows, so it makes me wonder, it seems like a lot of performers, maybe they're not into going to concerts, but do you and your wife like to go to shows, or is there any artists you seek out?
No, we don't go out very much. Of course, if it's someone that we know, we'll go and see them and say hello. But I, tend to stay pretty close to home, and when we're working on like a new record, like right now, that's my main focus. So I'm not even kind of listening to anything else. I'm working on my own material.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, looking forward to the new album
It's
then.
great. Yeah. I mean, you'll hear
Okay.
something in soundcheck.
Awesome.
We'll play something.
Well, I had Kenny Wayne Shepherd on a few weeks ago.
Yeah. My old buddy Tony Franklin played with him for a while. Yeah.
Well, Small World, and he had mentioned how he likes cars, working on cars.
Oh, yeah. I love cars, too.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't afford them, but... and our drummer, Alex, is him and his dad work on and restore European cars.
Nice.
Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Jaguar, all of that. That's their specialty. So... yeah, we shoot the shit all the time, We're car guys, for sure.
If the bus ever breaks down, then you're in good hands, right?
Yeah, Alex would come in very handy. He can fix anything, yeah.
Well, you probably know these guys. I've said it a few times on my podcast. My very first concert, my dad took me to see Cheap Trick.
Oh, yeah. They're good friends, yeah. One of my first tours in the U.S. in 1978 was... we did a number of shows with Cheap Trick. We got along great with them, and we ended up doing, quite a few shows with them. Yeah. Robin, the singer, was a good friend of mine. Is still. So.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites now. I have a soft spot.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. No, they're a great band. You know, Illinois, north of Rockford. Yeah.
Well, who was your first concert?
Oh man. Well, the first one that really, meant anything was Jimi Hendrix when I was 13.
Wow.
March 19th, 1968. And me and my school buddy, Stephen Peacock, we went to see him at the Capitol Theater in Ottawa in Canada. And like I said, I was only 13, so it was just mind-blowing. I'd never seen one Marshall stack. He had 3 of them, and it was just, it was so almost overwhelming. You know, it was sensory overload, but it was inspirational in a major way too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, did that kind of make you even more excited to get into the guitar or keep going? Obviously.
I think it showed me that, you really had to put something into it, like the guitar, I've always said, they don't play themselves, Yeah. And so it requires quite a bit of intensity and physicality, too, in a way, to get these things to do what you want them to do.
Well, I've had, we mentioned on the phone there today, Orianthe on.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. And as you probably know, one of her favorites is Jimi Hendrix. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
What's your favorite Jimi song?
I've got so many of them. Anything from Axis Bold as Love, anything from that second album, Little Miss Lover, Think We Have to Wait Till Tomorrow. And I was just found out that they recently come across some small reel-to-reels that were rough mixes or alternate mixes of tracks from that period. Wow. And they've, said they're going up for auction. So I would like, but you'll never be able to, because the Hendrix people will come after you. Yeah. So you could play them at home, maybe. I don't know. They're going to be watching that for sure, because there's apparently about 5 or 6.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, tracks, and it's supposed to sound really good.
Well, I play the drums, and I've always wished I could play guitar, and my favorite is Little Wings. So.
Yeah, well, and that's one song I've never touched. I've never tried to learn it. Once you learn something, all the magic goes away. So with that song, I can still just listen to it and not, kind of imagine myself doing the chord changes. I can just hear it as a piece of music, and I'm going to leave it that way.
Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder then, when you first started playing guitar, did you ever see yourself or want to sing, or did you always see yourself as a just player initially?
Well, in the beginning, I mostly was just a guitar player when I was 15, 16, 17, and we had a vocalist. But then, of course, I sang backing vocals, and I wanted to sing, so I sang a couple of songs. But when I moved to England and started my band there and got my record deal, I couldn't find a vocalist that I liked, so I said, well, I'm going to do it. So I've been doing it since then. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, because I've been to London a few times in the last few years, and I loved it. So when I saw that you had moved there when you were young, I thought, was it what you thought it would be? Because I know you have the song Life in London, and it makes it sound like maybe it wasn't what you thought it would be, or?
No, it's a totally, different thing. Now, I had a bit of an advantage because I'm from Canada, and my mom was English, and my dad was Irish, and we knew all kinds of Brits, and of course my uncles and aunts and my grandmother, and so I had a pretty English upbringing, in a way. So it didn't throw me completely, and I fit in real well. It's still like home, even now, even though I doubt I would go back to live there, but maybe if I had a few million pounds, I might,
Yeah, I'll join you on that one.
Yeah.
Well, when you first get there, did you have to have any odd jobs or anything to kind of support yourself?
I had a little bit of money, and so I didn't have to go and try to find work right away. But my job was to get a record deal, right? So that's all I was focused on, and to get one, the sooner the better, because I didn't have an endless supply of money. So yeah.
Well, it made me think too of some cool music venues there.
Well, no, they didn't. That was the big disappointment for me, was that because I would bring my guitar with me and go to a pub or whatever and say, hey, can I get up and jam? And they go, no, because bands there didn't play like I did 6 nights a week. They only played maybe a couple of nights, and they might not even get paid to do that, And so it was much different. Yeah, I had to figure that out.
Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had to get my own band and get my record deals so that I could, start promoting records and not have to play at the Red Lion pub,
Well, I thought it was interesting. I saw you had played. It looked like you played a good amount of shows at the Marquee Club.
The very first gig I ever played in England was at the Marquee. Yeah, famous Marquee on Wardour Street too, which was the one in the 60s and 70s. You see all those great pictures of the Who and all of that. It was that venue.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looked like a spot where all the record executives would hang out and scout talent. Is that kind of how it was? Or?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
But usually, to get in there, you had to have an in, like a record deal, or you had to know the opening band, or you had to pay.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the way it is, like in L.A. and I'm sure up here, But no, I never had to do that. I was lucky. Not that I was rolling in money at any point in my life, but I was lucky to get a record deal pretty quickly and move on with record company support to do proper tours and stuff. Yeah.
Well, we spoke a little bit too the other day. It sounded like you hung out with the guys from Thin Lizzy in London, or how did that kind of come about?
Well, I would go around and check out different bands and venues. And I went to this one place called the Roundhouse, and another iconic venue. Pink Floyd used to play there, and anyway, Thin Lizzy were playing, and I thought they were great. They were just this tough rock band, and so I immediately found out who their managers were and made appointments to go and meet them.
Nice.
And although I never ended up working with their management, I formed a friendship with the guys in the band, and we hung out a bit. Yeah, it was fun.
Did the harmonizing guitars, did that ever make an influence on you?
Yeah, they did that really cool. It was interesting. They were very economical in their rhythm playing, and they played a lot of unison. But it just had a great sound, and I was influenced. Yeah, I always wanted to have 2 guitars in my band, even before that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we're in the Bay Area, so I had to ask you, if you have any special Bay Area memories, and there might be a loaded question, but
the Bay Area has always been very, very special to me, right from the very beginning. And, of course, we were lucky because Bill Graham took an interest and was very helpful and in promoting us, getting great gigs, and being a real advocate for me. It was amazing. I mean, here, it's the famous Bill Graham, and he's like, just being super nice to me. It was awesome.
What was it like playing? Because I've always heard about the iconic Days on the Green.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the best shows ever.
There's cool pictures of you with like AC/DC. I know you played on the same bill.
Yeah.
Van Halen.
Yeah. What a show. Foreigner and Aerosmith.
Yep.
Man, what a great show, man. And we were on in the afternoon, in the mid section, so we had the best time frame because it wasn't too hot. People weren't too loaded. Everybody was just, so it worked out great for us.
And you did additional dates, like you toured co-headline with Aerosmith, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did a whole tour with them some years later. And, that was weird. I like Steven Tyler. He's a great guy.
Okay.
Very talented. I'm sorry to hear that apparently
they're done,
he thinks he can't sing anymore.
Yeah, it's sad.
I don't know what's up with that because that was the one thing that never failed him. He could get effed up and pass out, but right up until that point, his voice was perfect. I don't know how he did that.
Well, I know it's not the Bay Area, but one thing that I kind of popped in my head that I had to ask you was the Rainbow Bar and Grill. Did you ever hang out there in the heyday?
Not really. I was never really an L.A. kind of guy.
Okay.
I just always felt kind of phony to me. And, I played the Whiskey so many times. Played there in 1977 for the first time. And but no, I mean I've been to the Rainbow, but no, it was never L.A. in general. I just, I'd be there to play or record, but I never stayed there for very long.
Okay. Well, since I play the drums too, big Iron Maiden fan.
Oh, Nico.
I know you've played with Nico McBrain, Clive Edwards, Sonny Gennaro, Tommy Aldridge.
Oh boy! Yeah.
How did you have such good fortune getting such great drummers? Do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think drummers enjoy playing my music, because it's
good rhythm.
It's got some things you have to think about, and I've been lucky. I mean, I've had other drummers too, Ainsley Dunbar. A guy I really want to work with is Kenny Aronoff.
I've had him on the show. He was awesome.
I love Kenny.
Character.
Oh, yeah. Great, though. Just energy for days, Very cool guy.
Well, one person I had to ask about, too, is Pat Thrall.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Alameda. And
yeah.
Is it true Neil Sean introduced you guys? Or?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yeah. Neil Sean came to the very first show I ever played in San Francisco.
Where was that at?
The Warfield? Was it? It was a small kind of...
Yeah, right on Market Street?
Yeah, it was great. And he was there, and of course I was a huge fan of his, and we're, basically the same age. And, when he was in Santana, now that had a big influence on me. That pairing of what Carlos and Neil did, they had a really interesting dynamic thing going on with them that wasn't. Yeah, it was cool. And that inspired me with Pat Thrall because he did completely out there stuff and, it was great.
Well, I've heard that, and I know you've been asked this a lot of times, like about snorting whiskey a lot through the years.
Yeah.
But I just had to ask you, have you ever, since that came out, played a show and not played it?
No, I don't think so. We generally have to play that one. Pat Thrall showed up late, like 3 hours late, for a rehearsal while we were recording that album. And he showed up with his girlfriend, and he was trashed. And I said, "What have you been up to, PT?" And he goes, "Snorting whiskey and drinking cocaine." And I went, that's the song title. And I already had the main guitar riff, so I just Took about 6 minutes to write that one.
So that's the story.
Yeah.
Well, I was cranking it, getting ready for this interview because I love your latest release, Live and Loaded, from '84.
Oh, yeah. That just came. Yeah, right.
And it sounds great. It just made me wonder, through the years, like, how does that come out? Is that like a show you thought, oh, we were great then? Or is the record company put it out?
It was... At that period, we did a lot of simulcast or live recordings to be broadcast by Westwood One or, some different syndicated shows. So I think it was just another one of those. And, I had nothing to do with the production or the mixing or anything. So if it sounds good, great.
It's good in the car and on the treadmill.
Okay, cool.
Well, someone I have to mention, because I've seen you in the past with Montrose, was Ronnie Montrose. Mm-hmm. And just curious I know you're good friends, and you wrote a song about him recently.
Yes, I did. Yeah, great song. Very good. We play it every night.
Okay.
And every night it rocks. And it's kind of cool because it was so spontaneous. It was a period when I was, working on a lot of new material. Mm-hmm. And it was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was just getting ready to go to bed. And I had my Sirius XM screen up, and I noticed there was a Montrose track live from the record plant in Sausalito, Rock Candy. And so I listened to that, and it sounded wonderful because there's no overdubs. It's just a studio recording. And I went, oh, man, and I just got all jazzed and started working on this tune.
Awesome.
So I'm going to write a song for my buddy.
And rest in peace, Ronnie Montrose.
I know, very sad.
Well, one of my final questions. I know later in your career, you kind of went overseas to certain places that you hadn't played before. Like I know you went to Mexico, Spain. Was that kind of interesting?
That's true.
To see people later on still have the love for it?
I didn't even think about that, really. I've been to Korea, Japan, the UK, all over Europe, Russia. So going to Mexico didn't seem like a big deal, we went to Chihuahua.
Wow, where's that?
It was kind of fun. It was just a long-ass trip. Because I don't even want to talk about that. We had to fly back from Europe to Chihuahua and back to Europe. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, we're here. We're backstage in your dressing room. Mm-hmm. And I got to ask you, this is the final question. Do you have any pre-show rituals, or are you just kind of laid back about it, or anything like that?
No, I like to warm up for about 15 or 20 minutes before we play. But other than that, I just try to conserve energy until it's time to play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, it's been really great I've seen you a few times, and then to be talking to you like this, it's really full circle. So thanks for giving me some time, and me and my dad are ready for the show tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. I'll talk to you again. Awesome. Cheers.